line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet.
And championship moments implicated here tonight. Here down at Lebanon, Tennessee's Nashville Superspeedway, the drivers of the BackFire Sim Racing are now here live on the show of PTM Racing TV, ready to bring out the speed and bring out the heavy artillery. The Next Gen Cup Series is here back with us right now as we're about to get down to business here on the show. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Char, joining you guys today here as we get ready for our next round of racing, cutoff race here for BackFire Sim Racing. We're only going to bring 8 through, and right now with a 13, 14 driver field, this will certainly be a test of patience and control for many drivers out here as they prepare for the battle at hand. But on the pole, we start them. Carl Handwerk on the number 51 and starting number 1 seed out. To his outside will be Patrick McQuaid in the 77. In row number 2 is Wes Fuller in the 35 is outside Thaddeus Marshall in the A7. Row number 3 sees Tom Bourne. The number 16 is outside Dylan McDonald in the 38. In row number 4, it's Christian Roos in the 14 is outside Chris Papa. That's piles up the 13. Row number 5 is Alexander Kerfan. The 99 is outside Blake Howell in the 26. In row number 6 is Paul Owens. The 54 is outside Eddie Morse in the number 96. In our final row today, in row number 7, well, that will be piloted up by the likes of Ricky Gonzalez in the 48, and his outside, Joshua Bilter in the 46, and then Rock Sabati, it will be in the number 97, rounding out and topping off your field of drivers today. And just going to get this out of the way real quick so I can get these technical difficulties fixed. There we go, it's a lot better. And now, race fans, as we bring him off down the corners of turn number 4 here, we're going to bring Carl Handwork to the line. He's the man of the hour. He's the man with the power. How will he use it? How will he fare? We're about to find out as they bring the green flag up. And high 150 laps to the distance for BackFire Sim Racing. Cutoff race engaged. Shoot him line through the corners we go out of the gate. Every single driver right now looking for a hot start, looking for a hot run. No man's game, no man's land here. You don't want to get too crazy in those turns, and you don't want to find yourself in the worst predicament ever. Stage breaks here will definitely be a bit of a handful for some of these guys, and we'll definitely be giving the guys a little bit of work around here. It's going to be interesting to see as we get later in this run just how much those tires take a beating with these next gens, as we've heard plenty of times before. These next-gen Cup cars here at this track do not like to be overdriven too much, and they burn up extremely quickly. A lot of it has to do with just kind of the wide length of that tire, but also how easier it is to burn them off. Tire changes very frequent here and going to be very well noticeable. Guys are going to have to be very careful on their pit strategies, to say the least. And out of the gate so far, Handwork seems to be well aware of that. Oh, on turn number 4 though, huge wreck ensued. We got a big rollover in the infield grass. Oh my goodness, we got one upside down. Dylan McDonald, the 38, sent back to the pack and sent banished down to the shadow realm. But what happened? The fact he was able to get that car refired and even got back under control is beyond me. Patrick McQuaid in the 77 slowed down tremendously here, having all sorts of problems here. As we present to you in part the PTM Racing replay by the Muffler Man. What the heck happened to Dylan McDonald and Patrick McQuaid? We'll see him come off down on turn number 4, and it looked like McQuaid just completely lost it. He went upside down too. I didn't even realize that. Dylan McDonald though, and you see even the 99 of Kerfan, he just got out of the way and tried to avoid trouble. But oh my goodness, folks, that was a huge, huge wreck for that number 38. Good thing Dylan is okay. One more look at, watch that 77, comes right off down turn number 4, and you can see he just gets slightly loose coming off that end, gets a little crisscrossed applesauce. Next thing you know, the hood goes completely gone. The camera is getting destroyed on the 38's car, and thankfully I don't even know how that thing was still working, but hey, it was still working alright when all is said and done. One last look at it. This is McQuaid's onboard camera. You can see just how far up these guys are traveling with these cars and how hard it is to kind of get a run off. A lot of guys are going to try to find the inside line, trying to get a run down from there, but the one thing you're going to notice is if you drive up higher here, you run the risk of something like this happening where you overdrive the chute, you overdrive the apex of the turn, and then get into that troublesome slot, and that little quick shot, if you will, of the steering is not exactly going to be very friendly at you later about it. So heavy damage there on the 38 already. Dylan McDonald's the rest of the field right now trying to get squared back up on the track. But boy, I guarantee you right now he's not too thrilled about that. He's got to be an unhappy camper knowing that that car had to take a huge hit for really all the wrong reasons in his mind. Did not like the way that came out around the turn. Did not like the way that came off, and he knew it was trouble. Wow. Thankfully, since everybody is A-OK, we're able to get them refired up, re-racked, restacked, restructured, and all that. So it's time to get back down to business as always here. Now, right now, if I am Carl Handwork, seeing my teammate in that 35 West Fuller right beside me, my first thought process is don't try to do anything too crazy out of the gate. Stay focused for now. Let the car kind of come to you. everything kind of plays out in its own little way and has its own little proprietary area, so he knows he doesn't have to drive in too quickly here, but he's definitely got a crowd rooting him on. As Garrett GURPS Ellison comes on board saying, "Let's go West." Ellen Fuller saying, "Good luck to all my Titletown racing boys," from Mama Fuller. Mama Fuller is in the house, and the big kid there, Wes Fuller, is just right somewhere near in this track, and indeed he is in that second place spot. Him and his Titletown companion, Carl Anwork, are the front two starters, but behind him, of course, you can't talk too much about Tom Airborne down there. The old 16 Ford Mustang. It's going to be a top-notch guy to deal with, and Thaddeus Marshall, he's not too far off from that leg of the race here, too. We'll bring him back down to our other green flag stand camera area here and bring him back to the green. Great camera work by our camera guys today here to give a good showcase, a good little runoff here for these drivers. Piling them up, down, around, into turn number 1 we go. And it's an early hot shot for these guys as they bring him right around. A little tap and a half there, maybe from Tom Airborne there in the 16. Gave him a little love tap to the number 81. Or the 87, excuse me, Thaddeus. But the Titletown boy don't give an inch and don't give a hoot to anybody out there. Paul Owens and the number 54 right now trying to hang in there with the top 5. He's your 5th place spot as we go on board. Seemingly innocuous to pain, innocuous to the control and damage that he must face around these parts here. Remember, these drivers have so much on their line, so much on their plate, a championship at stake. Only 8 drivers making it to the next round. The round of 8 is coming up between these guys, and they know with that round it could definitely shake things up and can make things very difficult for some to work around and have to deal with. Christian Roos very well aware of that, knowing he's going to need to start making some moves and making some runs. Looking at the playoff points right as of now, cutoff line seems to be Blake Howell, Tom Bourne, Patrick McQuay, Wes Fuller, Thaddeus Marshall, Carl Hanworth, Chris Papa, Cole Martin, Ricky Gonzalez, Christian Roos, and Robert F. Kenny as the last men standing in this one. Cutoff line with Aaron Brown, Alexander Pafon, Brock Savati, and Paul Owens are kind of the edged out guys right now, only down by about 228 points respectively. So if you want to be a hop charger here, you want to get some points in and get a chance to make it into that championship round, like the 99 is going to try, you're going to have to do a lot of work here. Ricky Gonzalez also piloting up a homage car down to Mark Martin, the Ally 48 design. You'll see that at Darlington here when that comes around. Troubles down there though for the 96 Eddie Morris here as the caution flies out in turn number 4. Looks like a little bit of problems down there for Eddie Morris. Looked like he kind of had some troubles getting around to the corners there and had some issues kind of hitting up the rest of the track. Take a look and see what happened to that machine here as the Max Graphics came for a little wide around here. As you can see, once he clipped that bottom apron, that little fenders down there on the bottom, those are the actual hubcaps and all that kind of clipped up. The aerodynamic package of this car, once you kind of get this thing into a bit of a run from banking to flat spot, it's so easy to get looser than really like you're on dirt, if you will, with these cars when you're supposed to be driving asphalt. Best way I can compare it is like if you're trying to full throttle it from a rallycross dirt section into the asphalt section, you know as well as anything, if you full throttle it and not have some kind of control with some mud tires, that thing is not going to hold. And that's exactly what happened to Eddie Morris there. And the 96 once again struggling to keep up pace, keep distances in check. So we'll have to see later on if he's able to get things going a little bit better on his end. Second caution of the day, and with a championship on the line and stage points and breaks coming up through the field, that begs the question, will any of these drivers be able to match the controls and match the speeds? Well, when we come back to PTM Racing TV, we'll find out that and more. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our good friends over at the Muffler Man. You don't know who the Muffler Man is? Well, they're the mechanic shop that has served customers from all over the country for 20 straight years. They are located on 219 Columbus Road in Athens, Ohio, that performs all sorts of services for all various vehicles, including exhaust, maintenance, custom bending, shocks, struts, brake maintenance, oil changes, tire services, and more. You can call Muffler Man at 740-592-3593. Again, that is 740-592-3593. to get your services vehicled today. So field right now currently going to hodgepodge their way back around here. We'll take a look at the top 5 here out of the gate. Carl Handwork again still your number 1 driver here out of the point. Wes Fuller here in 2nd place. Thaddeus Marshall 3rd and 4th, and Tom Bourne, and then Paul Owens back in 5th. So right now the way it looks to me is it appears the guys that are on the bottom are getting kind of a bit of a disadvantage on the restarts because they're having to kind of corner off a little closer to the apron. And if you get too close down there, it ends up kind of costing you more than you realize. Whereas the guys that are going on the outside of the start, they're able to actually kind of dime it off from the top of the apron near the wall, then bring it back to the bottom lane. And that's actually helping them keep up more distance and speed, conditioning the tires to stay away from getting too out of control, too out of hand. And I think that's the one thing these guys are very considerate of, and they're really trying to keep their heads on straight and watch out for. Pile them up, down, off of corners on the back straight here, down turn number 3, down turn number 4. We're ready to get back to the action here, race fans. Here on PTM Racing TV, we are set to go. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel replay, first off, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you subscribe and you like what you see, and maybe you get some of our other broadcasts we have on the live section here on YouTube. But also, as you're watching your Facebook Live, I know many of you are, we appreciate you coming on, and if you haven't already, like and follow us up so you guys never miss any of our action, from the asphalt to the dirt to the rallycross to the road course. We got it all here on PTM Racing TV. And here we go, back to the action, back to the track. We're back underway. And the field right now in a bit of a hodgepodge, a little burner, get down, end zone run. Every single driver trying to find their speed, trying to find their craft. Thaddeus Marshall pushed up to the outside as the number 16, Tom Bourne, will take over position. Tom Bourne and that number 16 right now in a bit of a fight, a little bit of a ruffle, scruffle, tootin' little move here. The 35, Wes Fuller getting a little too close for comfort, got a little loose. You saw the car kind of swing it just a little left and right. He opened the door up, and Wes Fuller, like a thief in the night, had to come through and strike while the iron was hot. You don't give up on chances like that. You can't give out on this track here, especially with this next-gen Cup car. You got to take every opportunity you can to make the move and make it work. Timing and strategy is going to be very, very persistent, and controlling the amount of speed of car you have under your hood is really the name of the game here on this very, very tough mile and a third. Of course, Nashville Superspeedway, this is a mile and a third long track, as I just previously mentioned. But what makes it so tough compared to like Darlington is the fact that it is a little bit of a flatter banked end track, and it's a little bit of a tougher corner track end. You got it's a very dry oval design, obviously, as you see the corners kind of narrow themselves out here. But what makes it so difficult is how, with that low banking, you have to really try to master each turn, and really have to not overshoot your corners. With that heat of the heat summer here in Tennessee, kind of repping down on this asphalt concrete version of what really I would say kind of a larger Bristol Motor Speedway, just now without the bankings and without the speed and without the actual speed of a half mile. When you got more speeds of a mile and a half, it's very difficult to really master and very difficult to really take on if you're not careful. And right now, Carl Handwork is very well aware of that, as Tom Bourne is down on the bottom lane looking to shoot him from the gap into the zones. Oh, it looks like that might not be the case anymore. Tom Bourne gets a piece there. The number 51 Handwork gets sent back to the Shadow Realm. Tom Bourne definitely knows he needs to get himself into a better position to make this championship run work for him, but I don't know if it's worth trying to make a huge run at Blake Howell, who is only 3 spots ahead of him in the points. And for the record, Blake Howell, he's not even in this race. So now this could be even really anybody's guess who takes home top honors on the top spot when all is said and done. All we do know is Blake Howell's probably watching somewhere right now, grinding and biting his teeth, thinking Tom Bourne will take that number 1 position in the lead for the points-wise if nothing changes here the way this is going for him. Man, that little toe tap there entering into that turn really I think kind of got Carl Hamworth going a little bit. You can see he lost so much speed, so much control as Thaddeus Marshall was able to make a pass on by him. I mean, it may be Titletown Racing teammates, but that doesn't mean nothing to these guys. They will race like they are bitter enemies when they have to. And Hamworth knows this. That's why he's trying to keep him very close in the corners. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. And Hamworth, I don't think he's really getting closer than that, other than maybe literally putting it right at his door frame here with that passenger side door. And working a solid move coming off the corner here now. Looks for the opening. It looks for a straight shot around the line. Paul Owens in the 54 also trying to get a move off here on that 87. Thaddeus Marshall trying to hold him down. So much writing on the wall again for these guys. 14 drivers making the call. Only 13 left on the track. Eddie Morris, after his little spin and go, kind of messed himself up completely. Now he's trying to regroup and restructure himself. Hasn't been able to do it just yet. Roxy Badge here, the 97, and Alexander and Jake Raffon. Good to see them back out on the show as well. We haven't seen them in quite some time, so it's good to hear and see from their names and their shows here. But right now, anyway, they are a little bit further back in, maybe just trying to ease into the strategy, kind of ease on the track, maybe think about long-term effects of how these cars are handling. Ricky Gonzalez, that ally number 48, man, the do it right machine, pretty much locked and loaded, just keeping himself under control and keeping himself in position here. Working every ounce of that track, working every ounce of this car. Trying to find lines where he can, trying to find speeds where he can go. Some drivers driving a little bit farther up maybe than they were expecting here, and maybe getting a little bit more over their nose. You can see there's some pretty good damage on that 99. It looks like he is struggling at the moment to get that car to keep up pace and keep up the distance. And with the aerodynamics kind of being tore up a bit here, that certainly does not help their cause any. They know they're going to have a little bit of work to do later on. Other teammates here are trying to get back up to their colleague and ally, and I should say Blake Howell earlier I accidentally mentioned was not in this race. That's just because I couldn't see him on the live timing. He is in this race. He's in that 26. So Blake, you watch this back, buddy. I swear on my grave I did not try to forget you. I just did not realize where you were at, sir, so I apologize. Maybe that's why he went to the top 5 so quick. He's trying to get my attention. But good on you there, Blake. Good on you. I definitely deserved that one. The 1-3 speeds, though, team 13, 14, and the 26 right now. Blake being the top dog of them all here, as being the guy that's pretty much been able to hold the chains together and hold the frames up. I guess you could say he's been the guy that holds the torch above all and really makes sure that he can carry the flag with him wherever he needs to go. Hoping that maybe he'll be able to resurrect and regroup this BackFire Sim Racing team of the 1-3 speed. Right now, though, I would say our top dogs are definitely the guys that are in the Titletown racing scene, but also the ones that are trying to get up to that fast-paced Wile E. Coyote himself, Tom Airborne. Tom's so far ahead of the field right now, just continuing to grab on the speeds and not let go. And a lot of it really just has to do with his pure consistency and manhandling of the corners. But as you can see here, Thaddeus Marshall, Carl Hamworth having a bit of a discrepancy on who's supposed to take who position. And I don't think that's the kind of way you're supposed to dance around these parts of town. Then again, I've never been to the Music City, so for all I know, those southern country folks know a little bit more about dancing than I ever dream of. 1-3 speed onboard camera here at the 26. Blake Howell now looks for the straight shot right at the boys, pushing it right up to him. Boy, he is certainly popping some speed, popping some power under the hood, trying to make a big opening, a big shot around him. That huge lead distance between Tom Bourne and the rest of the field here as the guys continue to drive off hard and drive in quick. You got a 4-car battle here for a second alone. Kyle Handwork in that top honor, but Thaddeus Marshall and Blake Howell deal getting out a little bit behind him, while Paul Owens just watches from behind. Maybe looking to time a move or two. You saw earlier there Blake Howell timing a great move off at Thaddeus and Handwork while they were battling. Decided to go to the upper lane here and actually try to use that as his little launching pad to then shift the car straight to the bottom and then make the move off. And now you can see it starting to pay off even more so as Blake Howell looks to try to get the points more in his favor and secure himself top honors as Tom Bourne is trying to knock him off of that tonight. And when the sun starts to fade off here, things will get a little bit wilder here as Paul Owens off of turn number 2. Clipped in, wrecked off on the edge here, and the number 54 Ford Mustang has crashed completely down on the edge. Caution flag is out. Caution is out. And with 1/5 the race in the books, that makes you believe things will get a little bit more hectic here. As we take a look at the replay, it looked like Thaddeus was coming down a little bit on the 54. Paul Owens not realizing where he was at or what was going to go down. Ends up kind of getting straight line down on the bottom edge. See, it's just, it looks like barely driving up. Thaddeus looked like he was trying to back down. And both guys just kind of find themselves into a bit of a bad run. Thankfully, everybody does have a 1 instant repair limit, so they do have at least that to going against them. Ricky Gonzalez, the 48, will stay on out, which means the rest of our boys will head on into pit road. So field right now getting damage cleaned up, getting cars set back to go here. A little trouble down there for Carl Handwork. Looks like he's going to be put into the pit stall. Looks like he might have had a speeding penalty thrown on him. Or maybe not. Looks like actually maybe it looks like he was trying to get some damage cleaned up on that number 51. So field right now getting posted back up, back around the track, trying to make sure they can stabilize themselves down. Looking for some openings and looking for some runoff where they can get to it. Lap with 34 laps in the books when we come to the line here. This will definitely be anybody's guess who can get the stage win here and the stage break put up for grabs. Field's currently in a hot spot here, looking for openings and looking for some runoff what they can get to it. JKR Motorsports represented by Eddie Morris, Brock Savati, Alexander Kafan, 1-3 Speed talked about earlier, Chris Papa, Christian Roos, Blake Howell, Titletown Racing, Carl Handwork, Thaddeus Marshall, and of course Wes Fuller represented in that group. Guys like Ricky Gonzalez also kind of holding up the independent side of things, Paul Owens as well. And of course your number 1 seed right at this moment, Tom Bourne in the 16 of the race leader, looking to try and put the player 116 Ford Mustang into victory lane once again here on PTM Racing TV with the 1-3 speed. Number 26 on Blake Howell and his Ford Mustang also looking to burrow the speeds up and fire this thing on down to the ground. Race fans off of turn number 4 this time on by. We're ready to get him down in and fire this one up. Robert Van Ness saying 77 is the man. He may be the man with the hour in your mind, but he's not the man with the power just yet. That easily can change here as he is in the 3rd spot with a green flag flying back up. And, well, I guess I might have to correct myself here. He's coming up pretty quickly in this one. Lining them down on the edges here, down on the back, straight away they go. Every single driver for themselves here, looking, trying to find an opening, trying to find a runoff, and trying to find a line to hit on in. Every single one of these guys here looking to keep down in. Trouble down there. We got one straight down into the infield. We got 2 of them down there as well now. Brock Savati goes into the grassy plains, up his own lawn care service, comes back on the track. Christian Roos went straight down to the infield. That was the one that went swinging down hard. Manages to stay under control though. Blake Howell right now up into the race lead, looking to move the chains on in. Tom Bourne going to the inside, looking for an opening too. Every single driver trying to keep themselves under control and trying to keep the pace in. Patrick McQuay right now in the 97 Muffler Man, looking to put the Muffler Man into full gear, high pitch speed, roaring across the tracks, trying to stay ahead of these hungry young cats coming to take taking the fresh meat away in the top 3 and taking away everything he holds dear. Trying to hold it up and hold down the line, but he's got a lot of company kind of coming through to take him on. He knows he can't make mistakes here. He knows he can't be too crazy and too rambunctious on these ends and on these speeds. Watching every single entry, exit, turn, and all that, looking for some openings and looking for some corner off. Kyle Handwork right now looking to keep his distance up, looking to keep the car under control, and the speeds just ramping up more as they go. Don Bourne, the 16 right now, is continuously keeping his gap, keeping his pressure on. as Blake Howell has a huge lead over that number 16. Being the new leader though, Blake, I guarantee it right now, he's not thinking about short run. He's thinking about that extreme long run and how hard it is just to dip it down into that bottom lane, dip it down to that corner. It's a very tough little corner end to go for, really ton of spot down. Chris Papa kind of holding up the edge of the pack here, currently holding up into the top 10, upper half of nearly the top 5 section with Thaddeus Marshall just only about 0.6 of a second ahead of him. Coming up on about 1/3 of the way to go here though. Back to Rick Wade losing his 3rd place spot to Carl Handwork in this 51 as Handwork is right now working and jerking that wheel off the corners and hard off the exits, just trying to find a way to get around on that number 16 Tom Bourne. Thaddeus right now looking to move chains in, looking to move the run off here, looking for some more speed to hammer down on the 13 of Chris Papa. Thaddeus fell back just a little bit as Papa finally opened the doors up and opened up the playing field to his liking, taking over position. Little slowdown though off turn number 4. Well, that's going to give a huge opening to that 87. And here comes Thaddeus, diving her in deep, making her stick. Coming off the ends and off the turns they go. It is now the 13 who falls victim, as Thaddeus Marshall moves the chains on in and moves the field on around. All the way from downtown section, they go for the run. Dodge flag is out here. Looks like Paul Owens might be having some problems down here in the 54, and yes, he's having a lot of problems down there. He is currently stuck up on the high edges here. I believe that's off turn number 3 and 4. I'm not really sure what happened exactly to the 54. Looked like he was already pretty slow. He took a huge hit, looks like, coming off of one of the turns. Looks like turn number 4 is where he got hit up at. Yeah, he smacked it right off turn 4, and the car just kind of took a hit, a tumble, and then everything else kind of did him in here. You can see the car was not 100%. I'm not really sure what went wrong here in turn 3 as we're watching the replay back. It looked like he lost power. Oh, he lost more than power. He lost entire steering. The entire car locks up completely on him there. And the 54 had to come to a dead stop here. That's a tough break there for the 54 Apollo Owens, man. That driver was giving everything he had, and then some, just to try to hang in there and try to keep up the distance. But sometimes you just can't escape the madness that is racing and the motorsport world in general. That is certainly one of those cases. Well, race fans, real quick, when we come back here, we're going to go ahead and get this one fielded back into place, back into position. But as we come back to you live here from Lebanon, Tennessee, which one of these drivers can take down Blake Howell or Tom Bourne, or will any of them be able to carry their speed all the way to the distance? The stages are about to close off, and the big racing is about to come. Tonight's, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our good friends over at Muffler Man. They are the mechanic shop that has served customers from all over the country for 20 straight years. They are located on 219 Columbus Road in Athens, Ohio. That performs all sorts of services for all various varieties of vehicles, including exhaust maintenance, custom building, shocks, struts, brake maintenance, oil changes, tire services, and more. You can call Muffler Man at 740-592-3593. That is 740-592-3593 to get your vehicle serviced today. Big thank you from BackFire Sim Racing and us at PTM Racing TV to the Muffler Man. Past 1/3 of the way, we're almost halfway done with this race so far, and race fans, it's been a bit of a hot little start here from any of these guys trying to find speed, trying to find momentum where they can. A lot of the tracks seems to be focusing on that bottom lane ridge area, which means that the middle of the track, kind of that middle point, the center off area, should come into play later down the road. I think when you get kind of a little bit when you get a little bit harder in the charge, a little bit harder on the dash, things will get a little bit more interesting as time goes on. But that does not mean for 1 second these guys are not going to be put into a bit of a rough edge, a little rough spot to go from. Down across the edges here, every single one of these guys loaded up and ready to strike it big and strike it hard here on the track. Thank you so much for watching again, race fans. Thank you so much for tuning on in here to the show. Let's see what happens here with these guys as we get a little bit later into this race here. The 150 laps with these next gen cup cars is certainly no easy feat to take on, no easy feat to take down, but boy, they sure do have a lot of muscle in those cars and muscle on around the track with these power boosters. And the power is boosted straight to the sky, back onto the track side here. Here we go once more, back to the green. Tom Bourne, the number 16, early on, getting a good jump on the outside, but Patrick McQuaid, look at that 77, holding it up and putting on a fight. Guys starting to get a little bit crazier on the edges here. Thaddeus Marshall trying to find some speed on the outside middle groove. I said a minute ago that might be where guys start to really push more speed up to and more into the rhythm section here. Rox Savazzi way back into the pack here in the 97. Lost a lot of speed entering on turn 4. We saw that happen to a lot of guys earlier on. Seems to be getting the better of him, and some other guys here still struggling with more problems on the track. Wes Fuller set into the grassy plains, gets loose off turn 2. And Mama Fuller right now is not the time to be looking at the camera, because the 35 of West Fuller has lost his speed and lost all his momentum. Tumbles down there for him and the crew. Down across the edges here in turn number 4 here, and look at Carl Handwork shoot the gap up to the top side. Tom Bourne did not see that one coming, and now it's time for the 51 to make some big moves and some big runs out of the gate. Every single one of these drivers knowingly putting themselves into harm's way when they put themselves into these over a ton of peaks of cars that have absolute hard charging and dirty deeds in mind. Caution flag back on out though. More troubles down on the track here. Things getting a little bit more crazy as we go. But it looks like, actually, it wasn't trouble on the track. Excuse me, that was a stage break. Come on. I lost track of the laps here, folks. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, that was your stage break. The next one should be at lap 120. And then I think you guys can guess what comes next. But Blake Howell is going to be your stage winner here. With him coming away in the lead, and Thaddeus Marshall, talk about really making a charge back to the front. The A7 puts up a great fight to end that one out. Tom Bourne certainly did not give anything either in the 16. Neither did the 13 Chris Papa or Patrick McQuaid in that 77. So you're seeing a lot of strategies playing out in different times and different sections. And to me, that's going to be interesting for the long haul. We saw last time we were here at BackFire Sim Racing, Thaddeus Marshall decides, you guys go pit road, I really don't care. The last time we watched these drivers go in here at Nashville Superspeedway was a while back in the Gen 6 era. Not the next gens, if you will, but that's when things were a little bit more crazy and a little bit more on the tail end of harder days and harder drives to master. You saw a lot of guys out here really trying to find unique ways around the track, unique ways to really bolster their speeds and bolster their runs up. And now you're seeing completely the opposite of all that. You're seeing more of trying to pace and trying to endure, with the runs being much harder to control and a lot more interesting to see. Cars right now just under the pace car lap right now. Everyone's just kind of chilling, rack stacks and all that. About halfway coming up here on the show. And it's been of a difference maker compared to last night where we saw it being pretty frenetic, hectic, and crazy at Bristol Motor Speedway for the 150 laps. Bit of a different story here on the other side of Tennessee, as Lebanon has been a bit of a more of a controlled chaos on the long runs, where everyone trying to find speed where they can, trying to find consistency where they can get to it. So here it is right now, race fans. 63 laps punched in, and that means we're going to be up on lap 64 for these guys to go back at it, put some speed under the hood, put some speed under the track. Blake Howell, stage winner, now looking to engage the field and engage the speed and priority base power under the hood and under the runs. He's got a lot of work to do here as he tries to hang on. Off the edge is a turn number 4 this time on by. We're ready to bring the hammer back down across the track, down on the field. Let the green wave, let the flag drive on down. Here we go, boys. 12 cars right now on the lead lap. Ricky Gonzalez on the bubble of that edge here, but not trying to lose too much speed, too much ground and coverage. As the field moves their way off around turn number 2. Alexander Jacob now looking to stop playing games and now start pushing his speed up on the hood. The Graffon's market is now in the zone. I had to jinx him though. The 99's loose off at turn 3 and 4. The car going straight into the wall protection. Everybody's swerving to evade him. You know, I was just talking good things about a driver, and next thing you know, I had to end up giving the old broadcaster curse. I can't seem to find a way to escape that around here. It's like I try to talk good things about anything or anyone, and I always just completely give them a jinx or give them some kind of little curse that only a little bit of holy water and some sage can get rid of these days. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking off the top of my head, the top of my tongues. Then again, I don't speak tongues, so who knows even more. Anyway, back to the action right now. Currently in turn 1 and 2, Thaddeus Marshall. Now with his teammate, Titletown Racing's number 35, Wes Fuller, up on the high bank side as they reel them down into the corners here of turn number 3. And this concrete surface still making it very, very tricky to find a run, trying to find some openings and some speed to stick with and stay out of trouble with as well. We talked about it before, and just the overall pacing and control these drivers have to face. Truly something top notch, and truly something they'll have to endure throughout the rest of this race. As Chris Papa holds up in the top 3, I'd say it's about time we start turning our mics off. We start cranking it up a little bit around here. Bring it up. Let's crank it up down in Nashville. big trouble down there. We got big trouble. We got big problems there, unfortunately. Yellow flag out. Yellow flag is out. And Thaddeus Marshall goes for a wild ride on turn number 4. That is not the place to be right now. I'm telling you, race fans. That turn is literally catching everybody off guard, and it's either getting them way too loose or it's getting them way too tight. And once again, another one bites the dust. Saw that rear end just kick out on the 87. He had nowhere to go and nowhere to control the car from, and the angles of the turn just kind of sent him down around town, had nowhere to go. And again, it's just so difficult to deal with that added pressure, to deal with that added momentum coming forth at you. You really don't know whether or not the car is just going to straight shoot you right, or if you're going to be straight shot left. You can see once he lost it right here, this is where the car is gone. As soon as he had to steer it in that much with as much throttle as he did, the car was gone. There's nothing he can do then. And that's a sequential shifter. That is what you hear. The sounds like a sounds like a really bad version of an R2-D2 when he puts that thing in. Oh, come on, like I'm wrong. You guys know it. I know I'm gonna get a lot of people going at me about that comment. I know that much. And for the record, I absolutely love Star Wars. So do not even try to say anything at me on that one. So right now, everybody's squaring back up on the track, looking to try to find their run, trying to find their speed and control again. Chaos, chaoticness, and frankly, just all-around craziness here on the show just continues to follow no matter where we go and doesn't seem to go away from anything. Everybody's starting to hammer away now on the track, getting cleared up, ready for positions back again. It's going to be a very interesting situation, an interesting little run around for these guys as the field starts to pace back and forth, starts to get put into a bit of a different light, different scenario here. Well, Chris Papa, and number 13, now going to have his chance to really make or break his season up a little bit and showcase some of his talent out on the track. He's currently now going to be in the second place spot looking for a chance and making some money here. Piling him into the zone now. We are nearly halfway done with this race. The time is starting to come lapse and the times are starting to invade. These drivers know they've got a lot on the line. They know they got a lot at stake here. They cannot be getting out of hand just yet. Off of corner number 4, this time on by Chris Bopp on the number 26. Or, excuse me, the 13 with Blake Howell, his teammate, in the 26 right beside him, I should say. Ready to duke it out once more. Back onto the green flag run. We're back underway. Eddie Morris here in the 96 didn't realize where he was coming from. He's now back into this fray here after the little spins and trolls he had earlier. We'll see if he can try to keep Jake Carr's hopes and dreams alive, because right now Alexander and Jake are fun. One of the guys I would have thought have been a little bit more closely in that pack, in that zone. Slowed up a bit and having some troubles down there, but he is coming through the field once more. Eddie Morris not giving an inch here, with Carl Haywork now taking over for second place. Blake Howell certainly holding the race lead down, but a huge battle for third right now. And Tom Bourne stuck in the middle, looking to get out of that mid-pack range. We are now halfway done with this race. And look at this. Bourne on the outside. Morris slowing down just a slight bit too much, giving him some openings here, giving him some time to really strive. Every single one of these drivers now in a hot brigade for position. Anybody's guess who takes over the run, who takes over the mantle. This is the kind of times and moments you look for when you're once around here on PTM Racing TV. You just kind of wait and see which one gets the better of the two, or the better of the driver. That is exactly what we're seeing right now. Tom Bourne in a hot brigade, looking for some openings, looking for some runoffs here. Paul Owens back in behind the pack here. Problems down there for Brock Savati though in turn number 4. Caution has not flown out yet. Can he refire the 97? Oh, caution's out. It's coming out right now. It has gone with Thaddeus Marshall going right beside him. The caution flag will fly. Just trying to get to the PTM instant replay. Take a look at what happened exactly here to that 97. It looked like maybe found himself in a bit of a bad spot out of turn number 4 here. It looks like that might be the case in this one. Yeah, you can see turn 4 of that 97 just kind of got a little too loose and really took a little spin around there. Really wasn't much he could do from that angle either. He really couldn't see the car just kind of twirling around like that until it was too late. Once that rear end kind of kicks out from underneath you though, it's just a no man's land spot you're being put into. Yeah, definitely trouble down there for Savati, unfortunately, and that will bring every single one of these guys back to a resting point. So while they get the cars rested up and back into position for a run, race fans will come back here with the halfway point now reached, time running out for any of these guys to take over position. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our good friends over at the Muffler Man. If you don't know who the Muffler Man is, let me let you get on a little bit of the best known series and best known mechanic shop in the country here for their line of work they bring to the series, as they are the mechanic shop that served customers for all over the country for 20 straight years. They are located on 219 Columbus Road in Athens, Ohio, that performs all sorts of services for all various types of vehicles, including exhaust, maintenance, custom bending, shocks, struts, brake maintenance, oil changes, tire services, and more. You can call Muffler Man at 740-592-3593 to get your vehicle serviced today. A big thank you from BackFire Sim Racing and us at PTM Racing TV to the Muffler Man for their support. Looks like we're going to double file him back up this time by Blake Howell. Going to be a race leader still. Tom Bourne, Chris Papa, Christian Bruce, and Patrick McQuaid holding up the rear end of the field. And talk about this right now. Christian Bruce, troubles earlier on in the number 14. Now seemingly kind of miraculously able to now put the car back on a full-length straight. You know, I'm not surprised that he's kind of back in that landscape of things, but at the same time, he knows he needs to start really making some charges, really making some runs here, as the field will get closer and closer to the very edge of this distance and the very edge of this run. Remember, we will cut some drivers this race here. After this one, only 8 will survive on to the next round. And a big cut coming up, of course, here for these guys. They know they can't be too crazy with that. They have got to start being patient, a little bit more focused. And when we get to those last couple laps, it may not seem to be the opposite here. David McNeil coming on board here. Great to have you on board here, sir. Saying they holding on pretty good. Indeed they are as they get to the green flag race start zone. We're back underway. 82 laps in the books, 150 no need to be completed. That still is the mark to go. That is the mark they're aiming for. Ricky Gonzalez on the outside, trying to deal now with those Tiletown Raceland Hustler boys. And Wes Fuller and Carl Hanworth decided to do a crisscross applesauce, little crossover move coming from turn 2 down turn 3 and 4. Hanworth doing most of the work, going straight down to the bottom edge of the lane. A huge distance boost, game changed it right through the field. Patrick McQuaid right now, right up into the close corner clutches of Christian Roos now, 1-3 speed, number 14, trying to put the smoke pit ahead of the Muffler Man 77. Oh, Hanworth got a little loose off turn number 4 there. He saw the car way too low off the edges of that turn. Knew he couldn't get too deep, but he knew he couldn't go too wide before that thing would go a little too out of bounds. Eddie Morris in that A6 right now, looking to make up for the mistakes earlier on that his JKR Motorsports group members and teammates have made earlier. But you can see how difficult it is to kind of make that pass, and you don't really want to try to play mile and a half mile long bump and runs here. I mean, granted, you can try all you want, but I would not want to think that'd be a very smart move. It becomes very, very intensifyingly crazy and tough to do and to deal with, especially here with this kind of racing. McQuaid, though, opened up enough with Morris now sneak his way on the inside. He must forfeit the line, forfeit the shot. Morris brings it down on the edges here and takes over position. Great onboard look here from Christian Roos's back cam here right now, but you can see that little swivel off of turn 4. Once again, another driver caught up on that lane, on that edge. You can just see how difficult it is from you're going from that transitional progressive turn into that embankment of the front straightaway. It's extremely difficult to keep these cars in such line and catch them in such check, and these guys are knowing every minute of how difficult it is just by simply just turning laps here. But that's kind of how it's been playing out all day long. And Tom Bourne and Blake Howell now looking to battle it out for the race lead at last. Blake Howell knows he's in a bit of trouble here with the lap winding down here before stage break gets to lap 120, if that is where they're going to go with the stage break here. The ever opportunistic one of the number 16, Tom Bourne, trying to make a move off on that 26 of Blake Howell. Blake right now keeping his distance and keeping it fresh in his mind. Knows he cannot give up any openings, can't give any room up. He'll let him go through, and then he'll take over that position ever so quickly. And that's exactly what he's trying to aim for here as they continue to fight it out. It's a bit of a dog-eat-dog battle here between Blake Howell and Tom Bourne. Bourne getting a little bit of the better of him in the exits of the turns, but it's Howell who has him on the straights. And just being able to hold him back on the straights is all it takes to really keep up the distance. And in the back of the pack now, West Florida once again dealing with his teammate, Carl Hamworth. Hamworth got a little too rambunctious for his own good. Got into the wall protection off turn number 4, and then the car just kind of said, I'm not really having any of this one, my friend. Hamworth then had to slap it upside the head and make sure it would get back into tip-top shape and prioritize himself back into the race position. Down on the edges here, down across the plains, every single driver right now getting squared back up, getting kind of put into a bit of a draft zone line. Looking to just trying to build some speed up and play follow the leader, if you will, with those copycats up there, Tom Moore and Blake Howell. Alexander Jacob Vaughn and Brock Savazzi here, all each kind of getting each other's game plans settled up, trying to find some runs off too if they can, maybe find some area run to hit with. As the Van Dam, number 97, looks to get something going on that number 54. Paul Owens up at very far ahead. Thaddeus Marshall a lap down here actually, so he's currently being passed up and kind of keep himself out of trouble with these other 3 guys behind him dealing with each other here. Like I said earlier, these teammates, they may be teammates now, but that doesn't mean anything to them. The only thing they care about is winning this race and putting this thing into victory lane, as they really should be and have every right to be. Man, it's kind of crazy. I think earlier on we were having such great side-by-side action, great side-by-side battles. Now it seems like everybody's just trying to avoid getting too crazy on tires. They're not really not just trying to stay away from being too heated on the tires. Those tires are getting so hot under the collar right now. You thought right now they were literally as hot as a volcano's ashes erupting from Mount Fuji. These things are pretty much now on the heart of Mount Tennessee, because this Music City has been alive and well and rocking and rolling its way around the track and across the ponds. And these guys right now dealing with a hot battle for the top 5. Hamworth and Papa back at it. Great duel amongst some of the veteran drivers here. Hamworth and Papa. We've seen Chris Papa do this before. He frankly will not give in. He will not give out. He just loves to put up a fight and put on a little runoff here with that 51 of Carl Hamworth right in the lane, trying to hold his position down. Hamworth looking to try to maybe make a little bit of a charge on the inside groove, looking for some rubber, looking for some speed. Remember, the more rubber you lay down on the track, the more grip you can grab and contain, with speeds increasifying over and all day long. But at the same time, actually, that rubber can be a bit of a demon, if you will, if you're not a fan of getting loose, or a little bit of a tougher time having control of the car, because that is exactly what it does to these guys, and they know it. And concrete is one of the easiest things, is one of the easiest surfaces or substances to actually rip a little bit of that rubber off on cars and a rubber off on the track and going at high speeds, high friction corners. And that's exactly what's going down right now between these guys. Blake Howell, by the way, has literally moved away from Tom Bourne. He's found his own zip code. He's about 2 seconds ahead if it wasn't kind of obvious. That's why we're not showing any battles from those two right now, because there really is no battle to be had. It's just Blake Howell basically running away from the entire field, trying to say sayonara to their little chances to win the season championship. Paul Owens opening the door for the 77 to McQuaid, but McQuaid not able to capitalize on that power that he had under the hood. The Chevy was not able to take down that Ford as Owens continues to hold down the 7th place spot with McQuaid right behind him and looking for any kind of opening, any kind of leeway he can get off it. You gotta love that fighting spirit these guys bring to the table. You gotta love that fighting battle here that everyone wants to try to get the better of and the most speed away from. But at the same time, it's so potent, so uncontrollable that these guys are dealing with the added pressure and the added sanctuary, with the moments to really get more and more deep into the runs, more deep into the ground sides. McQuaid now looks like he finally has a shot to take down Paul Owens here, entering off of turn number 4 here. Got a great burst of speed. Getting it down on the edges and down the cruxes of the playing field. Open the door wide that time by, got himself a bit of a gap, kind of a clearance section if you will. Like my grandmother would be at Walmart when I was only 5 years old. She saw an opening to get to the clearance aisle and get all that free goodies. That's what she'd grab, and that's exactly what McQuaid did here. Found the opening and charged right up ahead. Yeah, we're down to the final 50 laps here in this race. Now is the go time as we're leading in to the final laps of the stage break, and Blake Owl, pretty much that 1-3 speed 26 has been locked and loaded, to say the least. Not giving an inch and not giving out anything to just anyone. He only wants one thing, and that is to become the race winner and the season champion. With as many laps and performances he's brought to the table, it's hard not to see why he wants it. He is the leader right now in this race, and of course points leader, as I mentioned earlier on, by about 4 points over Tom Bourne. And Bourne knows that when they get to the big day, they get to that big final race, if he does not have enough points to take him down, it could be anybody's guess what happens next from that end of the field. Coming off the cruxes and coming off the speeds, every single driver finding their last-ditch efforts and last-ditch runs here just to hold on with. Mama Fuller, it's okay to look back at the television screen right now because your boy Wes Fuller is now on a hot spot looking for a charge on that 77 of McQuaid. Is the last one down to the stage. Stage 1 had some interesting results, to say the least here. Stage 2, about the same ordeal, about the same kind of mindset. It's been interesting to see what drivers had in store and what they had in the playing zone, but the rest, as they say, is kind of history. It's all about who performed better at what places and at what times. In my opinion, the guy that a lot of folks are kind of sneezing on, they're not really thinking too much of, is, of course, that 51 of Carl Ham, where Eddie Morris definitely has been gaining speed back in the second half, but that first half, to me, really hurt his chances, really hurt his opportunity to be a much better contender. Carl Hamwork, to me, as you see right now, he's already mounting a charge, mounting the run back on. Last time he had it, he was at Martinsville Speedway, and that was probably one of the most biggest heartbreaks I've ever personally witnessed here on PTM Racing TV, with them going straight to the wire and straight to the end with one last-ditch effort battle for the race lead. Would only fall short to the damage and the control the car had on its tempo and on its field. He looks to rewrite the ship and rewrite the carriage today. As Blake Howell continues to be your race leader. No, that was not a glitch on our end. That was actually Blake Howell's little glitch craft for Gremlins getting him. Ricky Gonzalez way back in the field, but in the top 10 already. Still top 10 driver with Paul Owens just ahead of him by about 5.5 seconds plus. We talked earlier about West Florida, Patrick McQuaid having their little duels earlier. Of course, you saw McQuaid having a little bit of fun down there dealing with the mounting spree and the mounting run. That was number 14, Christian Roos as well. As Carl Haywork in that 51. Blake Howell goes into pit road, which opens the door for the rest of the field. Tom Bourne taking the race lead away. And now this becomes more of a substance on who is the better hitter of it all. Got about 40 laps to go, but only about 10 remaining in this stage, if I believe that is what we're counting on. And you can take a look at how far everyone is in position right now, how far everyone is down on their runs. And look at this last minute battle. Tom Bourne goes into pit road for his final stop of the day. It looks like McQuaid, Papa in a heated dogfight between one another, and Papa opened the door up, got loose off of turn number 4, and once again another turn 4 scenario pops up, opening the door for McQuaid, and Patrick McQuaid doing a great job, literally now getting the last ditch efforts and last ditch pieces of the puzzle. Man, this Muffler Man kid just does not give an inch. He won't give out. He won't give in. The only thing he knows how to do is go out and race. And boy, he knows how to race with the best of them. A last ditch effort, a last ditch charge. Eddie Morris looking for the race lead over the number 51 of Carl Hamworth. Morris that time on lap 111 got a great build up, a great down right edge on the corners. Looking to take it over. Handwork has got a lot of room that he's giving up. He's giving him a lot of opportunities to strike it big here if he can just keep him down. This one's going to fall more towards Morris' side. He will gain at least another 10th from that lap, I would say. That is another 10th gained. One more time by here. Handwork now in trouble. The 96 of Morris looking to sneak his way on the inside corner panel. Looking to take position away. Handwork has got to start watching it here. He knows this is not the race run he's looking for, and that's not the way he wants to be put into. Oh, and Eddie Morris, though, he got even more trouble than he realized. He got it too hard off of turn 4, and again, how fitting, another driver really dealing with that turn and dealing with another substance trouble coming out of the exit. Turn 4 has taken, I think, at least 3/4 of the drivers for a ride tonight. If it hasn't been a wreck, it was a complete 180 on speed and control and consistency. And it happened again. It happened again. And now that doesn't mean that in that final run that could possibly not change out there. But with everything kind of playing out the way it is right now, I don't see that not being a very difficult, very tough to beat case here. Final laps of brewing Christian Roos right now, brewing up more than his fair share. With Blake Howell looking to try to get his lap back already, not looking to have to rely on a lucky dog. He's going to get up there, Christian Roos. Roos opens the door up to the bottom, doesn't want him to get him in trouble, doesn't want to get himself in trouble here, knowing how many laps are left. Blake Howell right now, though, is looking like he might have a chance here to get to Carl Hamworth and get that lap back before the lucky dog comes out. Handwork knows he's got to be careful, though, because if he does give up that lap, that means Howell has a very good opportunity to put him into a bit of a deadlock zone, a bit of a dead heat area when he has to go into pit road immediately on the stage break, but I don't think he's going to have much of a choice here. Howell has got fresh tires and he's got fresh speed under his hood. Handwork cannot hold him back, cannot hold him off. Handwork to the bottom, and that is it. Or excuse me, Howell to the bottom, and that's it for him. Gets his run, gets his speed, and takes over his lead lap back with just a mere couple laps remaining. What a comeback there, having to come from pit road that been fired back on the track. Full credit to the 26 of Blake Howell, man. This cat is just ready to dial it up and ready to put it on the fight, on the barn burner here, to say the least, as our final laps come to play. And we're bringing off turn number 2 down the back straightaway here, looking for one more ditch effort, one last push in the front, one last pass on the gas. And turns it off around turn number 4. We'll see a number 26 ahead of him, but we'll see himself in the chance of a lifetime, looking for the possibility to take home the stage break. Back around one more time by here, and that pretty much will seal Handwork's run here. And now he just needs to stay ahead of timing and pursuit as West Florida now comes up at him. I thought that was going to be a stage break, but I guess I'm completely wrong. I don't believe there was a caution. I don't believe that last caution we had was not of a, at least the one that I said was a stage break was not of a stage break. There was no activity or any wreckage out there that I was aware of. Tom Board knows now he's kind of in trouble if he doesn't start making some moves here. But he's trying to make some moves. He's trying to find an opening, trying to find a line around the track, trying to find some areas to sneak up on. He's not getting much luck though, or much love from the other drivers. Fuller caving it back down low. Morris moving it ahead into the third rung spot. Christopher Roos still holding him down though, keeping himself away from the distance and away from the pack. In the back of the pack, top 5 go at it. Paul Owens and Ricky Gonzalez. And Ricky, you know, this Valvoline Allies 48 signed up scheme has definitely been a hard charge and a hard runner. Very similar to what we would have seen in another possible scheme that was, of course, Valvoline style with the 6 behind it. Of course, that was back in the day when Mark Martin was a man that really all drivers just knew and loved and cared for, and the fans loved him as much as anything too, because he was just downright respectable as much as he was a kind-hearted driver on the track. But that didn't mean for sure that he was going to give you a chance to win the race. He was going to still race you as hard as anyone else would. It was just he had a different kind of flavor and substance to it. And it's good to see that the colors are still represented well and still beloved by many guys out here. That scheme is about as famous as it gets when it comes to really seeing out on the track, if you ask me. Paul Owens a little loose, turn number 4. Once again, another driver getting stuck on that position. Tom Bourne now moving in the field, looking to get his lap back. And he knows right now he's going to need it, because he can't rely on that stage break to save him from this one. Neither could Blake Howell. You saw him running as hard as he could earlier on with 25 laps left to go. I had thought we were going to have a stage break, but with only 25 to go, it's kind of pointless if I would think. So it looks like guys are now just trying to make the long run last. And Tom Bourne, oh, he did not make that run last there. He had troubles coming off turn number 4. Speed and momentum lost and garnered back to the number 51. When the heck is Handwork and Roos going to have to go into pit road? Because they know as soon as they do, Blake Howell and Tom Bourne are going to have their way with them. Eddie Morris has opted into pit road here. His top 5 spot will go up for grabs to anybody that wants it. Ricky Gonzalez, Paul Owens moving ahead. Blake Howell will move ahead of him as soon as he can get around back onto the front straightaway. Talk about a complete 180 on this one. I thought this was going to be a little bit more close-edged. But it seems though Handwork is not going to give an inch to anybody or anyone, knowing what lied ahead of him last time he gave any chances up to anyone. Another driver into the wall protection there, unfortunately, kind of found himself in a bit of a bad run, a bit of a bad angle here. Handwork and Roos both finally admitting defeat. They go into pit road. Wes Fuller stays on out, so it's going to be a long final run. And Wes Fuller is just not giving an inch. He's not giving out. Gonzalez and Owens now moving the chains up, back at him here. Blake Howell, Tom Bourne each trying to get their lap back, trying to get a chance at this here. And Wes Fuller and Thaddeus Marshall are going to both head into pit road as well here. So Howell now has a chance. Carl Handwork, Christian Roos have been passed up. And it looks like now Tom Bourne getting the better of them too. Handwork needs to get back out here quickly. He needs to start building some speed up if he wants to get back to those boys. That's a very detrimental gap in between Howell and Handwork. 15 seconds, 16 almost. Howell is now moving the chains up quickly, and he's got a fresh set of tires, and he's got a full tank of gas, but is that tank long enough to get into the victory lane podium? Right now, he went into pit road with our calculations back on lap number 108. Ricky Gonzalez and Paul Owens both within 78. Tom Bourne was at 110. Now let's take a look at the fuel run and the fuel stint. Well, I will say this, it's going to be a bit close and a bit nerve-wracking, but that looks like it's enough by a bit of a margin of error. So all only thing he needs to do is just stay out of trouble and stay out of problems, and I think he'll be able to smooth this thing out and get it to a long run green flag finish. Doesn't seem too phased, doesn't seem too bothered by that ideal. Knows he can't give in too quick and he can't give in too much. $19 laps left to go, and the times are just flying by. The times are going creeping on the low and creeping on the go because everyone is riding so low for themselves. Paul Owens dealing with the 14 and Christian Roos passing him on by. Ricky Gonzalez still your race leader, and I guarantee you Ricky Gonzalez has no way in this chance he's going to be able to go full long run. He's going to try though. I just don't see there being enough fuel in there, or enough of a time window, especially considering when you went into lap 78 for pit road. You'd have to pretty much right out of the gate been clutching the throttle and clutching everything in. I think what he's hoping for is for an opening, as Paul Owens now has to admit defeat. He goes into pit road. I think he was hoping for another caution to come on out. He didn't get his way, didn't get the caution, and now he's finding himself in a struggle scenario. Chris Papa, Eddie Morris now, they are battling here in the top 7, looking to go top 5 here with Paul Owens down in pit road. Blake Howell, Tom Bourne still at each other's game plan, and at each other's throats trying to find the last bit of speed and last ditch effort to run they had. Tom Bourne looking to maybe make a full hard final 5, smack Dabaroo on the track here. But a mere 15 minutes left on the clock, or 15 laps left on the clock here. Now has been sealed with Gonzalez going into pit road, which means Blake Howell, only thing he's got to do is just stay in the gas, stay on the throttle, and we're going to find ourselves with a brand new leader. Blake Howell, 9 spots up today. Still your race leader, the hard charger, the man of the hour. The man has all the power. But Tom Bourne only about 5 seconds back of him. If he can start to get this thing going in about 10 laps or so, I guarantee you he might have a chance. Handwork was doing a great job earlier on trying to map out the strategy, map out his plan, and really time himself up for this one. But now it's kind of turned into a bit of a ball game scratcher for these guys. We are 12 laps left to go. Guys right now finding any kind of last minute chances, last minute opportunities to strike it big. Blake Howell in the 1-3 speed has been the man of the hour, the man that has been towering above all. When he gets on the track, Tom Bourne was able to kind of eke out some positions earlier on and kind of make his move and charge when he could, but those laps felt a little bit more strenuous and it felt a little bit more on harder times. And knew he couldn't keep up with the distance, couldn't keep up with that position. Let's say this way right now, though, the 1-3 speed team, I think, has got to be proud of themselves for how good they've been able to stay out of trouble and really stay in the running in the fold, the top 10, top 5 all day long. Papa in the final 5 here. Blake Howell, your race leader, and Christian Roos right behind Papa in 6th. So this is a great race if you're the 1-3 speed guys or 1-speed crew fans right now, because they're the ones that, in my opinion, have outplayed and outsmarted the JKR Motorsports and the Titletown Racing Cats, as unfortunately Wes Fuller and Thaddeus Marshall have been put into a bit of bad runs and bad spots all day long and really haven't had much of a chance to really exercise those demons and put those things to good work. And now Thaddeus losing it in turn number 4. He's going to try to center it off, but he's going to go into the grassy plains down there. I think at this point he's just trying to avoid any more problems, trying to avoid any more scenarios here. 9 laps left to go. We'll go to A with Blake Howell continuing to march down the field, march down the track. What a day it has been, race fans, and a very big thank you to all those that stayed on in and stay tuned with us here. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and follow us up, as we'll have some more action tomorrow night for you. But also head over to YouTube, subscribe there so you can see this race in its entirety. If you're already watching on the YouTube end, thanks so much. Subscribe as well if you haven't already, so that way you guys can make sure you never miss any of our live and the old reset buttons of the replays here. Oh, Christian Roos had a little bit of fun with Chris Papa, but it looked like Papa gets the better of him. Lost him down in turn number 4. And how many times have I said that today? I think at this point you guys can make a drinking game out of it, and you'll probably get hammered by the time this one's over with. I've said that like, what now, 10 times on the turn 4 scenario? It's been a lot. I don't even know. Seems like 7 or 8 times, really. I don't even know, guys. You be the judge at home. You guys know more than I do, so. Seven now with only 6 laps remaining. And Blake Howell calling to the track, calling to the fans, calling to his crowd, making the best out of this movement and best out of his scenario and situation. Has top dogged the honors and been the top guy all day long. It looks to just put the final laps together The pieces are in place. Now all he's got to do is just put the puzzle and the final position and finish this one out with the mere 5 laps left to go. This time on by. Eddie Morris right now looking for any kind of speed left he can get on Wes Fuller here in the number 35 machine here. Fuller is currently holding down the 96 by a distance margin of error here with the Max Graphics kind of coming up to the field, coming up to the ranks. Kyle Handwork, I mentioned earlier on, definitely was a bit of an underdog story, kind of come into fruition and did not seemingly keep himself in that same playing field, in that same body zone. Had a lot of troubles down there with the last run and that last push. And the last seemingly almost too much to really cater to and really get in with. Oh no, wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. You've got to be kidding me. We've got a caution on the final laps of this one out of turn 2. And it's going to be Paul Owens that brings it out. I don't even know what the heck happened here, but we're going to the PTM Racing replay to find out all of it. Paul looked like he was having troubles controlling the car late into the run, and the car had too much up in its grab and up in stakes. He was trying to get out of the way here. Good driving on his end to get out of the way, but unfortunately he was not out of the way in time, and everybody that was coming up at him passed him in and made the officials call for the caution. And just when you thought we've seen it all, now Blake Howell is in an extremely big disadvantage here. And Paul Owens, I guarantee you right now, is not a happy camper by any means. Howell knows he had to go into pit road. He had no choice. But will he take all 4 tires, or is he going to take fuel and go? That remains to be the question. Paul Owens has been disqualified from the rest of this race, so he will not be able to finish it. It's a green-white checkered scenario. Who gets out first is going to win this one. Ricky Gonzalez stays out. He's going to try and play a very big move here. Handworks in pit road. He's taking rights. Will he go full lefts? Yes, he is. He's going to get all the 4 tires there and just enough for fuel. Blake Howell's getting out of pit road now. And Tom Bourne, Carl Handwork coming up to it. Tom barely beats out Handwork. Howell beats out the both boys. And Gonzalez staying out on a little bit of a burnt-in tires on lap 135. But is that enough to hold down Howell and Tom Bourne and Carl Handwork? Remember the last time we saw drivers play that kind of strategy in the real life scenario? The closest one I can think of was at Las Vegas Superspeedway. Kyle Busch took all 4 tires. Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman, well, they nearly just took a mere 2, and they would actually win that race out. Is Gonzalez trying to structure and sanctify it? Well, I have to throw myself out the window there, because Gonzalez is going in pit road, which means now it's Bourne, Handwork, and Howell for the final position. Top 5 will be on the screen now for the rest of this finish and the rest of this moment. The pace car will bring him around one more time, and then we turn the lights off and we'll let the flagman prepare for this conclusive climactic sequence. Paul Owens right now, I guarantee you though, not a happy camper, and definitely not happy with the way this one played out. He knew he was struggling, tried to hang on for the longest time, but the car simply just could not do enough of it. And now they all find themselves in an extremely very difficult scenario to have to fight through. They all thought they were just going to escape with the points and get out of this one, but now this has turned into an absolute slobber knocker. Shootout ends. To meet ends meet. You better figure out how to handle this control, and you better figure out how to handle the car. So here it is, race fans. If you wanted to see a finish, if you wanted to climb back to finish, you're about to get it. We saw it last night at Bristol, Tennessee, when the Spartan Logistic Management LLC iRacing IROC Challenge Series boys went dead to the wire. It was a last corner move that won that race. Is the same about to happen here at Lebanon, Tennessee's Nashville Superspeedway? All I know is this race, fans, things picked up and things are about to get crazy on this final leg of the race. Which one of these men will be the top dog? Which one of these boys will win it all? Howell, Bourne, Handwork, McQuaid, and Papa, the top 5 on your screen. With Roos and Papa, teammates try to make it big and go for broke to help their teammate Blake Howell. Will we see an all 3-1-3 speed finish? Or will Blake Howell have to go alone and win this one out on his own? And don't forget those Tiletown Racing boys, because you saw West Forest swinging that tires around trying to loosen it up. He's ready to work with his teammate Carl Handwork. When we come to the line this time by, we'll go green, and then we'll see the white flag tune on down. Off of turn number 4, the field rocks them off. We're ready to fire them back down. Green is out. We're back at it. Howell with an extremely strong start. McQuaid falls back. Handwork straight to the bottom. Bourne can't hold him off. Here comes Handwork now. Last ditch effort. Trying to pull some speed, pull some run, trying to get ahead of Tom Bourne. Bourne gave him a chance to get it to the top so he can cross him over down turn number 3 and 4. And Tom Bourne gets loose, hitting the 51 of Handwork. Handwork able to save it, but goes to the wall. White flag is out for Blake Howell. 3 wide salute. Alexander Griffon swings it too far. He's lost the car. It's gone. It's gone. Now they'll have to deal with the added pressure ahead. Tom Bourne open the door for the 13 across Papa. Now the 35 West Fuller sneaking their way in. 3 wide to the end. On the back straightaway to the crux of the finish. They'll bring him down out the corner, and they're still 3 wide, but Blake Howell is going to take this one home as they wreck him down the end. Blake Howell wins at Nashville Superspeedway at a huge wreck in suing off turn 4. Carl Handwork once again finds himself in reverse to the finish. Patrick McQuaid will go second, but the man that tops them all and will continue his points lead entering into the next round of racing is going to be this man in the number 26. The driver of the 1-3 speed Ford Mustang is Blake Howell, and he is going to be a race winner in Nashville Superspeedway. An impressive fight to the end. Taking a bow to the fans, waving to the crowd as he comes back around here with a heavy artillery boost of speed and a heavy heart on his mind. He did not hold anything back, to say the least. Race fans, here is your finishers now on your screen, presented in part by Muffler Man. This is how it all played out. Blake Howell with a tremendous hole shot takes this one home, but Patrick McQuaid gave it everything he had to get up to him. Got around the rest of the wreck behind him there and got second. Tom Bourne just narrowly escaping carnage in the 2 times in that one. Goes third. Wes Fuller, a great comeback and shootout for that number 35 team driver. Ricky Gonzalez, a top 5, rounds out his day. Chris Papa goes 6, 7 to Alexander Griffon, 8 to Carl Handwork, 9 to Chris Roos, 10 to Eddie Morris. Well, Blake Howell certainly was not going to let this one slide, nor was he going to let this celebration slide away from him. He was going to make the best out of it and get the most out of this one. As we let him have his fun and go do the burnout, it's time to talk with our top 3 tonight. Here at Lebanon, Tennessee, we now see the 16 Tom Bourne joining me here down at pit road. And Tom, as we watch Howell go do his burnouts and his little run around here, you certainly had a bit of a burnout going into turn 1. Car gets a little bit loose, opens the door up there for the number 51, and then Handwork, and you get into it down at 3 and 4, and then it just, I don't know what the heck happened from there. You guys just got chaotic there, didn't it? Hold on, folks. Might be a little troublesome on our end here. We'll take a look back here. We'll see if we can get it going. Tom, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Okay, do you want us to repeat what we said?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Tom, right now we saw the burnouts going down Blake Howell, but we saw you have a little bit of a burnout there entering into turn one as you and Handwork had a little bit of a dogfight coming out side by side out of the exit. And then down the back straightaway, you gave him the room to go up top. You swing into the bottom quickly, taking position, but then you two get into one another in 3 and 4, and then I don't know where the heck the chaoticness came from there at the end, but you were able to escape it and keep it under control for the line. So how does it feel here to get that third place finish?
It was definitely hard fought. Hats off to Blake. He had a fast car all night. I might have had something for him if he, if we restarted with a little more to go, but unfortunately not. And yeah, I don't know what the 51's deal is. Been racing me, dirty all season. He's wrecked me multiple times this season, and I've straight up I've just had enough of it. And unfortunately, it's coming back to bite him right now when it is the most opportune time of the season in playoffs and everything. And it's what goes around comes around. I'm not gonna intentionally wreck him. That's not what I do. But if I get into him, get into him. If he doesn't like it, then he can catch me on track.
Some strong fighting words here from the track and on the circuit here, but I mean, at the end of the day here, Tom, there is definitely a championship on the line, a lot of points at stake here as you're trying to get to Blake Howell. I gotta believe that the fighting spirit is definitely within you for this next race coming up here as you enter into the next round.
Yeah, it definitely is. This team never quits. We didn't quit last season and barely made the Final Four with by winning the last race of the cutoff and coming out with the championship last season. I have every intention of going back to back, but like I said, Blake's a great driver. I have nothing but respect for him. He drives me hard. I drive him hard. And if he can, you know, I'm, I'm, I'd rather not fight for the championship more than with him. He's him, McQuaid. Really anybody in the top 8 now, they all have a shot, and ultimately, hats off if you can get it. If not, then let the next guy step up and everything like that. But there wouldn't be a better guy I'd rather race for the championship with than Blake.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, as we get closer to the next round of racing, anybody want to thank you for this third place finish?
Yeah, just want to thank you for putting on a broadcast week in and week out. Always a great time listening, rewatching after the races. Sky Motorsports putting together another good car. G Fuel, Player One Coffee. I'm missing other things, but it's okay. My Kira's watching always. She's my number one supporter, and I hats off to her and Josh for bringing me back for another season. And hopefully we continue the hot streak and we move on to next week.
For sure there. All right. Well, Tom, we do appreciate coming on board here, sir. Congratulations on this third place finish, and we'll see you next week here, sir.
Thanks, man.
Tom Bourne, ladies and gentlemen, here in the number 16. Some fighting words down on the track, but a lot of heart and his pride in his fight tonight. As Patrick McQuaid goes second place here as well, coming up with a great showcase for him and his crew. McQuaid, congratulations in that Muffler Man 77 coming away second. Managing to kind of escape the chaos right in front of you down turn 3 and 4. I gotta believe this one feels pretty good to kind of bring home some bacon, bring home some power for the Muffler Man crew.
Yeah, I mean, especially with it, with the race being sponsored by Muffler Man. But honestly, I don't think I deserved it. I was content with fourth, to be honest. But I knew on that final restart that, I mean, with the 16 and the 51, something was bound to happen. So I just wanted to make it through that.
Something was bound to happen. There was craziness to intertwine, but man, you certainly held your own, held your time off, and really gave it quite the fight and quite the end here. But right now, with the way things are playing out, things are getting closer as you made that big move to kind of get into the final positions. I mean, really, what's it going to be like here when you enter into next week, knowing you guys got even more of a hard race, hard charger to go, with some guys really getting the better of each other and getting a little bit more confident in their abilities?
I mean, yeah, I feel like every race is tough each and every week. I mean, especially with all the playoff guys showing up, you gotta bring your A game. But I mean, my game plan is just really just to survive, you know, because the past couple weeks my races have started out very slow. So if I can just get a quick start and get more confident in the car and then hold my position up front, I won't have to deal, hopefully, with all this chaos.
Survive and conquer, absolutely. Well, nevertheless, still McQuaid, congratulations on the second place finish. And right now, really, as you come away with this one, who do you want to thank you for this?
Muffler Man, of course, CBDMD, Alpha Lion, and Eclipse Photography, and also Blake Howell. He designed my scheme tonight, and I really appreciate it. It was very last second.
Sure, there. Well, nevertheless, very sweet looking ride, very cool looking design, and a very big position to put the second place car into it today. Congratulations on that, McQuaid.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Quaid, number 77, comes away here second overall, but tonight in the top honors, we must give it to the number 26, Blake Howell, bringing the bacon home and bringing down the speeds to the end. Congratulations on that, sir, and what a timing shot this was for you and your crew. The hold shot, as we mentioned on the broadcast, was what really made this race and gave you the victory, wasn't it?
It was. Man, this race was a whole lot of fun. It feels great to come back and race at home. This is my home track. Me and Tom had a great battle going there. I kind of wish that this would have run out to the end so that green white checkered wouldn't have happened. It's kind of a stressful time for that to happen. But overall, just a really fun race. Glad we're able to win 2 out of 3 for this round. Finished second last week, so I'd say got a pretty good run going so far.
Pretty good run, pretty big momentum boost here, and definitely a big timing shot, timing lineup here for you and your crew. So with this now putting you in the top honors again and possibly giving you a very big chance to not only walk away with this championship season, but also giving you a chance to even make or break this one. Really, I have to ask you, what is going through your mind as we enter in the next round? And really, do you feel this car is championship caliber for the final end of the season?
I do think it's a very deserving car of winning a championship. Feel like I'm going week by week. I'm not really worried about points going into it. I just want to go out and have a good finish, and I'll worry about points when I have to.
You have to, when you have to really put up and make them shut up, I guess you could say. So, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, Blake, what a performance and another strong edge to this one here, my friend. Congratulations on that. Is there anybody you want to thank today for this one?
I want to thank Chris Pop at 1-3 Speed for giving me a super fast new pink race car tonight. I want to thank Rogue Energy, United Republic of Painters, and I want to thank Red Duck Comics. It's my dad's local comic business, so I want to thank him.
I think it made them proud. I think it made them have a little fun with the showcase tonight here. Blake, congratulations, my friend. And from here, we'll see you guys in the next round of racing. Congratulations on all this.
Thank you.
Blake out, ladies and gentlemen, comes away with the race win, which will finalize our night tonight. Race fans, it's been an honor and a pleasure, and a very big thank you again to the friends over at Muffler Man for tuning on in. To all you at home, thanks so much for the support. From all of us here at PTM Racing TV, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time when the green flag flies here on the show.